Well, I hope you've been enjoying the event so far. I have. My voice is feeling it a bit. This morning, we have a special guest. He's somebody that I only recently met through Naylor Taliaferro, who's at Podrow. It's funny when you meet somebody and you just totally get each other. You get inspired by each other, and Keith is one of those people. Keith Kalfas. He has a landscape business, but he's so much more than that. He helps businesses join our industry. He's bringing people into our industry. And so when we think about the future of our industry, I think of people like Keith that are so critical to helping people do it well from the start. You know, some of the statistics are 80 million downloads on YouTube for Keith's talks and his coaching for businesses. It's really impressive. He's helped 10,000 businesses start in our industry. He's so knowledgeable. We'd have conversations and he tells me about all these books I need to read. I have to take notes while we have conversations. So just a really great guy. And I know a lot of you will get a lot out of his keynote talk. So please help me welcome Keith Kalfas. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That mic, is it?
Your mic.
Oh, I'm mic'd up
Yeah,
here.
you are.
Good. I'm turning on my camera right now. If you guys ever do a talk, bring a camera. It's not a big deal to do this, because then you get the footage and you can put it on YouTube or your website or even on a podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning. How are you? Imagine that you are out in the field on a job site, you're running your business, you can even be in your office, and you have this inspiration that comes through you. Like, just imagine, and you want to make a video. And I want to talk about my POPP method, which is passion overcoming the pressure to peacock. And I'll tell you what that means in a few minutes. And we're building this framework of how anybody can plug into this and overcome these kind of fears and anxieties to peacock. And I'll share what that means in a second. But for a second, everybody just close your eyes and imagine, just do this with me. You're gonna take out your smartphone, you take out a video, you wanna make a video and you're excited and you actually do it for real and you overcome any nervousness. Because the average person gets butterflies, they feel, am I gonna look stupid? Are people gonna look at me? Are they gonna judge me or criticize me? But you upload it anyways and you check again, and in about an hour, there's 25 comments that came in. You can open your eyes. And imagine that there's people in the comments, they're engaging, they're asking you questions, there's thumbs up, there's emojis, there's fire emojis and hearts, and people are engaging with your business, and now you're getting a DM and people wanna know more. Maybe you have clients that are DMing you and they want a quote. Maybe people are asking you for advice, but it actually worked for real, and you overcame this kind of pressure to peacock. Now, I wanna tell you a quick story. Back in a few years ago, I've made over 3,000 videos online. I was listening to The Hero's Journey. There's this guy named Michael Hagg. He's a hit Hollywood screenwriter. They hire him and pay him a lot of money because he's figured out there's these 6 steps that must happen in a movie to increase the chances that it will become a hit. Storytelling, basically. So I'm listening to this while out working landscaping, and I'm listening to like Brendan Burchard. This guy is a huge influencer. And so I'm just like kind of a normal nerdy dude out there working, running my business, wanting to be successful. And I want to make these videos because I have a message I want to share with the world. I was not very comfortable on camera. But I did what they said, and they said, just do these 6 things and take out your phone and just tell your story and press upload. So I did it. I did exactly what they said. I took off a backpack blower, literally. I took out my phone. I was like, I'm on the job site. This is real. Where I was in the moment was critical. I wasn't peacocking and saying, oh, I'm insecure because I don't have 10 crews in a big building or maybe a brand new Mercedes, or I'm not. It doesn't matter. Where you are is perfect. It's vital, actually. But I go, guys, I'm Keith Kalfas, and I want to tell you the story of how, in this case, how I started my landscaping business with nothing and flat broke. All these customers, I thought I was so good at sales because I was getting all these customers, and I realized that it was just that my prices were so low that everybody was saying yes, and I was walking around thinking that I was good. And then I was actually attracting customers they saw where I was at. I didn't know they saw where I was at, and they were sometimes even purposely taking advantage of me. And I didn't see that for a long time until I woke up. And then I got angry in the video, and I started just sharing my heart. This passion came out, and it overcame the pressure of my insecurities. And then I did what Brendan Burchard and Michael Hagan, these guys said. I titled the video, Press Upload. And it very quickly took off. And now it's got like 342,000 views and another 200,000 views. That's YouTube, another 200,000 views on Facebook. I was like, wait a second. That really wasn't me. I mean, I had passion, but I just kind of plugged in a little framework that I learned from somebody else. And then I realized it worked. So we started doing stuff like this over and over again. And I learned that it doesn't matter if you're tall or short or skinny or wide or what nationality or creed you are. It doesn't matter that this framework works. Back in, 2010, I used to sing and do karaoke and music shows. And I didn't even realize that back then, I wasn't even that great of a singer, but I had so much passion. I was using the POPP method back then. And I was literally going and like winning karaoke competitions. And then I would leave the bar and crumble back down into my insecure self and be like, whew, I can't believe I did that. It was passion that was overcoming the pressure to peacock, just being your unique self, right? Let me look at my notes, because I get so passionate that I don't want to go off script. This is very important, because my goal here is I want all of you to not think that you need fancy microphones or cameras, but I want you to take your passion and start a podcast, start making videos. You wouldn't believe how many leads come into your business. I helped a friend who has a roofing business start his YouTube channel. His YouTube channel sold him $1 million roof and got him connections all over the place. I can't take credit for his hard work. Now he's speaking and doing all these things because he started his roofing channel. I could tell you a bunch of stories like this, and he's not even a great public speaker. He's just passionate. The next part of this framework is the oscillation method. And we're building this out right now, like up at midnight, taking notes, excited about this. Imagine if you're making a video and you're very calm and you're just telling a story, and then something excites you, so you become passionate, and you raise your voice and you start talking real loud. Do you understand? This is amazing. And then you kind of go back to being quiet again. You're oscillating up and down, and when you do that, it captures people's attention, and your passion draws them in to where they're hooked on what you're saying. And it's okay if you lose your train of thought and you just want to pause in the video. You're afraid, oh my God, they're going to click off, they're going to leave. But sometimes if you pause and you gather your thoughts, they're like, this person's thinking of something, like, what are they going to say next? And so now they're hooked in, and they want to know what's going on next. The next thing in this method, I want you to also imagine, how many people here are on the job sites in their business or visit job sites, or can you raise your hand? Okay, cool. Imagine that you're making a video and you want to market your business to get more customers and leads. And things go wrong on job sites, but you're a professional. That's why you fix it. They pay you to solve problems, and sometimes you uncover things that it's not really a problem because you've been through it before, but it can make you sweat a little, but you always get through it because that's what you do. You're a professional, and that's what you get paid to do. So imagine if you started being hyper vulnerable and sharing your kind of micro anxieties on these videos. Like, hey, we're doing this project right now. We're really excited. This customer has invested to do a beautiful outdoor luxury living space. And you're filming it. And then all of a sudden you're like, something went wrong, right? Oh my God, we can't get the plants on time, or something broke here, or we cut a line under the ground. And you say, we kind of ran into a problem here. You would actually say that for real, and you would share that vulnerable thing that you were like, I can't share that. And share it, and then kind of work through it, and then show how your crew fixed it. You're like, we fixed it, everything's perfect, now we're on. And then you show, like, it's like a climax of how you got through it, and now all of a sudden it's beautiful, and then you could talk about, you don't have to actually get the client on camera to do a testimonial. That'd be a great idea if you could, or audio, or a review that you put on your website. But you could also tell the story of how the client was so incredibly happy that they told 3 of their friends, and now you have so many more leads coming into your business. And if you want a quote, check the link in the description below, or go to www.landscaping or horticulture.com. So by you telling stories, you're putting images in people's minds, and you're basically just telling them the raw truth. And through that, you're earning credibility with them. And you wouldn't believe how many people have called that they see the videos, because we have like 6 YouTube channels. I have an actual YouTube channel for my real landscaping business, and they call and they see the videos, or they'll see my crazy videos where I'm talking to contractors where I am, I used to cuss a lot in my videos. I don't do that much anymore. But I've had customers be like, I saw your videos, this is awesome. They feel like they already know you, and if you're your unique self, my friend Stan has like 950,000 subscribers. He says, be yourself with the volume turned all the way up, your own unique self. And people say, well, like, what if I'm not like you, Keith? I'm not like charismatic. Well, there's a guy like Ben Stein. He's literally became famous just for being kind of boring. So you could just totally be yourself, and you'll repel away the customers that you don't need, and you'll attract all the customers that you do by being your authentic self. Is anybody here going to do what I'm saying and make a video and tell their story and take out their smartphone? Aim in the back, right? Is anybody here nervous about making videos and posting them and growing their brand? Okay. I want to share with you this kind of Heroes 2 Journeys thing that I was talking about a few minutes ago in the story arc. You know how, let's just say it's like a Mel Gibson movie. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. The phone rings. Lights are off. He picks it up and he's in bed sleeping, next to his wife, and he turns on the lamp and he picks up the phone and he's like, yes. I'll be there. Hangs up the phone, and then his wife is like, no. And then next thing you know, he's getting dressed, he's putting on his leather jacket, and she's like, hits him in the chest, and she's like, but I thought you were done with this, you asshole, right? And I must go. So the next thing you know, he's riding off in the middle of the night on the motorcycle to go save the world, because he's like a retired CIA agent or special ops or something like that. When he has to go save the world and he leaves his home to go do that, this is the journey that I'm talking about. In that sequence, it'll show him like subtle things that are vulnerable that make you understand that he's a good man and he cares about his family and he's a real person and he has love. And something about that makes you buy into the character, that unique vulnerability. When you buy into the character, then you're like, you know what, I like this person, I can relate to them. Then when he decides to go save the world, he stops. Like, here's the line. And he's like, wait a second, I haven't done this. I quit. I retired from doing this. I have to now take this journey to save the world. I can't do this. This is too hard. This is incredible. So he makes a decision that he's going to, I'm like literally just making this stuff up right now. He makes this decision that, you know what, I'm doing it, I'm gonna save the world, I'm gonna go all in and pull out my skills and put the war paint on my face, and I'm doing it. As soon as he makes the decision, and the audience is tied in, and they're watching this, they know him, they like him, that he just left his home to go do this and risk his life. The second he makes the decision, and he crosses the Rubicon, which is the point of no return, like he's all in, all of a sudden the bottom falls out, and now the stakes become impossible. Something really bad happens to where now he can't go back, and now he's at the point of no return, and now he's like in a pit. In that moment, like the best movies of all, cliffhanger, the very beginning, if anybody's seen that, like it starts right out in the pit. It grabs you. I feel it in my legs right now as I'm talking, because I've been there in my business in these situations where like 20% into the job, I realized, what the hell did I get myself into? And the only way out of this is through, and you just have to you can't show that anxiety to your team or your employees or anybody. I've learned, especially not my wife, and I just get that stuff done and get through it, and then I earn my stars and stripes, right? That's what entrepreneurs do. So the bottom falls out, and this hero is stuck. So it's actually called the Heroes 2 Journeys, because now he has to go deep down inside and make a bold decision in his own life, and this is a spiritual battle. He has to now transform who he is on the inside and transcend in order to transform the circumstances on the outside. And the only way he can go out, make it happen, is to change on the inside. Does that make sense? You have to, courage. What is the definition of courage? It's your own belief in your ability to figure things out. I feel courage right now, speaking right now, because I'm figuring this out. So with that courage, he steps forward, he goes on, and then it's really, really hard, but you know how the story ends. He makes it, he wins, he stops the world from ending, he saves the world, and everything is okay, and people are hugging and crying. And where does he end up? On the motorcycle, all the way back, leather jacket, comes home, and he hugs his wife. She's like, I knew you would come back. He comes back to his family, and everything is restored, and faith is restored, everything. So in that hero's journey, it hooks you. Now, you don't have to have a $20 million budget and shoot some movie. You don't have to have fancy cameras or any of that stuff. Look, when I was talking about that, I saw some of you listening to what I was saying and suspended your disbelief, and you got into it, you felt it, you could relate to it. So if you just do that with your smartphone and you tell your story about something you went through and you document it and you upload it to YouTube and on Facebook from a vulnerable place, hyper vulnerable place, because now vulnerability is the new credibility. There are people that have different status plays. Some person's status play, like her, she's incredibly freaking happy. Whenever I talk with her, she's like, ha, ha, ha. And I was like, she's in her element. Some people are really, really rich. And that's their whole status play, that's their identity. They've got the Range Rover, they got Rolexes, and everything they touch turns to gold. And now if you remove them from that identity, they might crumble and fall apart. Some people, their status play is they're always very serious. So figure out what is the unique part of your identity that you love the most and turn the volume up on that thing and be that person. I have a friend, he recently passed away, and he had 4.5 million subscribers on YouTube, and he became bigger than Steve Irwin, the guy who did all the reptiles in Australia. I was on the phone with him once getting advice about videos and YouTube and all these different things. I said, bro, how do you do it? You're so happy in your videos. I mean, he's literally in his reptarium, and there's like snakes and lizards and all these things, and he's his name was Brian Barzak. He's a beautiful soul. But he's like, what's up guys, this is Brian, and today I'm so excited, you can't believe this. Look at this two-headed snake. This is extremely rare. And he's talking all about this, and this stuff is getting millions of views. And this guy is so incredibly passionate and in his unique element that it just shined, and it touched people's lives all over the world, and it continues to do so today. And I'm on the phone with this guy, and I'm like, how do you be so happy? Because sometimes I wake up not happy. Sometimes I'm going through problems in my life. I don't want to lie to the camera. I don't want to BS people, because people are very intuitive and they can feel it. People are emotionally intelligent. He says, well, you know what? I go through stuff too, but that's actually who I really, really am, and that's the best part of myself. And I like to make videos every day because it challenges me to be the best part of myself, and I condition myself to be that person, right? So you don't have to lie to anybody. You don't have to be a faker. You don't have to peacock. And the pressure to peacock is basically when you take out your smartphone to make the video, this anxiety comes up like, oh, I'm not good enough. This isn't entertaining enough. People aren't going to watch it. So what I've learned how to do, and the reason we have 80 million views collectively online, our podcast hit number 37 in the entrepreneur category on iTunes, helped start 10,000 businesses. I mean, it's crazy. I've gotten calls and emails that my videos have helped people get off drugs, prevent suicides, save marriages. Because when I feel that feeling that comes up, like, oh my God, this is not good. Or I look at the video and it literally just ate a Cliff Bar and there's something in my teeth. Or I have we have cats at home. We love animals. Cat hair on my hat, and I'm low status. I look like an idiot. But I'll upload it anyways, even though I'm afraid, and it's cringy. And those are the videos that take off and get the most engagement in the comments. I've invested, $60,000 in cameras and lighting and microphones, and I have all this fancy stuff. I have a whole podcast studio. Nobody cares. When I take out my phone and I just make a vulnerable video, which I'm challenging you to do, you got, 7 days. Yeah. I want you to start a YouTube channel or take out your phone. You can get those little selfie tripods. I got these right here on Amazon. My wife has a social media business. She's really freaking brilliant. It's it pops open. It's got a little tripod. You can clip your phone in it, and you can just sit down or stand and talk and tell your story. This is so simple about how you started your business, what you had to overcome, and where you're at today. So it would go like this. For me, I'd be like, hey, what's up? My name is Keith Kalfas. I have a landscaping business in Michigan. I have 2 6-figure businesses. I'm married, and I've watched a lot of my dreams come true, but it wasn't always this way. 8 short years ago, I was broke, living in a 1-bedroom apartment with an eviction notice on the door and debt collectors calling me, and I was so scared. I was terrified because I'd met the woman of my dreams and I didn't want to mess it up. And I used to do music, and I love my music. I sold all my music equipment on eBay. I stopped doing that, and I went all in, and I started a landscaping business. I was literally going out at 10 o'clock at night with a flashlight doing quotes, and I would do anything. I would pull weeds, I would trim bushes, I would do anything. And I built a landscaping business with my bare knuckles by posting ads on Craigslist 7 days a week, 100 hours a week, and the craziest thing happened. Within 6 weeks, I got so much work that I replaced the income from my job, and it never looked back. I woke up on a Saturday morning, and this feeling came through me, like these epiphany bridges. You only get these a few times in your life. It said, today's the day you never work for anybody else ever again. I was like, but I gotta be to work in a half an hour. No, today's the day you quit. So I called up the boss at my landscaping company that I worked at. I said, I quit, I'm out. He's like, what do you mean, you have to be here in a half an hour? I was like, no, I quit. And that day I called up a client. I said, I can come early. I showed up and I went and made as much money as I would make in 3 days at my landscape job, and I went all in. And then it blew my mind because I wasted 12 years working 50 different jobs, and it only took 6 weeks to get my own business off the ground. I'll never look back. And I want to let you know that my whole life has changed because I had some courage and faith and belief in myself, and you can do the same exact thing. Check the link in below or anything like that. But you could be like, we started this business with nothing but a rusty old pickup truck and a vision. And we were scared, but we knew that we loved people, and we knew that we loved beautifying properties, right? And so we went out, and one thing led to another, and we just started serving people at the highest level. We just finished, we actually locked down like 3/4 of this whole neighborhood. We've got all their property maintenance. Now we're doing luxury services. And like Mrs. Jones just called this morning so happy. She actually delivered a gift basket of like pasta and wine to our office because she was so thrilled with the job that we did. And so I just want to let you know, we're so-and-so services. We love what we do. We're never going to stop, and you can check us out. We've got 54 positive reviews on Google, and we're at your service. Here's the number. Click the links below. We'll give you a free quote if that's what you do. Yeah, you could just be yourself, and the right people will see that. It'll show up. You can share it on Facebook. It could actually work so good, you can turn it into a Facebook ad and start pulling in leads, you know. So I want to do a little bit of Q&A. I want some questions. I want to answer any questions that anybody has. I'm really excited for you. I want to see you make videos and promote your business or build your personal brand. Video editing software? Actually, so if you have an iPhone, it's iMovie is the app. If you have an Android, we use Power Director. It's like $6 a month. So I literally can film an entire vlog at an event like this, and I port the footage over or take an SD chip out and put it in my phone, and I literally just go in the corner on my headphones and I'll edit like 28 minutes. Boom, the video's on YouTube, tagged and titled before anybody else. And it's like, how did you do that? Because I'm editing it on my phone on Power Director. Then also at home, if you have a PC or a Mac, there's Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, all those editing apps. Anything else? Yeah, but you could do all of it on your phone. Like, I'll see my wife with her cup of coffee, whatever, like for her clients, just banging out videos with her thumbs moving like so fast. She's like, I'm a fucking genius. Any other questions? Length of video? Okay, what's the typical optimized length for a video? It could be anything, because we live in the short form world of, we're uploading 8 to 12 pieces of content per day, 300 pieces of content per month that go anywhere from 8 seconds to like, 2 hours. So I think, what's the comfortable mark for you before you're like, if it's just you talking in front of the video, it could be 3 to 4 minutes. And I think the question is, it's hard to answer, because just like the stage has sections, you can have a 30-second version of your message. You can literally have a 30-minute version of your message. So I think it's important to define, and if you're talking to customers, the more amount of clarity and granularity that you go into breaking down the topics of your message and describing or showing results in advance of what you actually do, is the higher ticket price the job might be. If you're selling $50,000 or $100,000 jobs, you might make videos that are 15, 25 minutes long showing the process, right? If you're just trying to get leads and generate curiosity, the video could be as little as 30 seconds, 2 minutes. And I think it's important to not feel rushed. If you have to take the time you have to take to spend a whole minute at the end talking about who you are, what you do, why you do it, how they can learn more, that's important, because there's people that watch your videos that are very data-driven, and they don't believe enthusiasm, they don't believe anything that's exciting, they want data before they can make a decision. So if you show data and you take a little bit of extra time, it'll drive those people to pick up the phone and call or go to your website. I hope that makes sense. Does that help? Just start making videos and you'll find out what's comfortable for you. And I could give you more information about like what the algorithm likes, but it's really totally proprietary and unique to you and your social media, these algorithms. Because you be like, I don't understand, this one guy uploads hour-long videos and it gets 1 million views, and this guy uploads 60-second videos and it gets 1 million views. This is crazy. It's really the engagement and how long people watch that they stay. Any other questions? We do regular YouTube, YouTube Shorts, and YouTube Live all the time. We're doing all of them. Like we're in the short form world, so we put out shorts, like 3 to 5 shorts per week, and then that pulls people into the bigger videos, our bigger, like longer videos, and makes them subscribe. And we make the shorts so catchy that we will edit them to where as soon as the video starts, I'm already talking and there's text coming up on the screen, like that annoying stuff you see. Yeah, absolutely. And you can find editors, and I have 17 virtual assistants, like a team of media people that I have help me do all this stuff. And they're, from the Philippines to Asia to the United States, and they can do all this stuff for you. So for the entrepreneur-minded people who are a visionary and you're looking for an integrator and you can't, how am I gonna do this myself? It's the wrong question. Don't ask how, say who can help me do this? Who can be my video guy? Who can do my social media for me? Maybe if you don't even wanna do it at all, who's in your business? That's the personality that you can literally just give them a raise or give them bonuses. I gave my employees bonuses all the time, and I gave them GoPros, and they go out and get tons of footage for me on the job site. I'm like, oh my God, I'm leveraging my business by having other people help me create the content. Any more questions? You had one? A great question. How do you protect your privacy and your personal life? So I learned this from one of the greatest copywriters and marketers of all time, Dan Kennedy. He talks about the Pandora's box. Before you ever even make videos, you can think about it or write it down. I went and looked in the mirror and I was like, don't ever be negative, don't whine or complain on videos, and have these specific things you talk about. So you never leave anything open to interpretation. When you're talking about something, you say, this is what I mean, which means I don't mean this. So this is exactly what I mean. When I say this, I don't mean this. So talking about controversial topics that will make people want to look at you, or haters or stuff. I mean, we've got videos with millions of views where I've had mainstream America looking like, I would make a very engaging video about how to start a landscaping business, and now it's got 2 million views on Facebook. And I always wanted to go viral on my videos, and I did. And it's actually not really a good thing, because all these people are watching, this guy's a scam artist and a ripoff. I would never hire him. I'm like, what? So I got a little nervous, but then I just like brushed it off. It's fine. But as far as your privacy, you never show license plates or street signs, home addresses. I don't show the front of my house ever. I try not to show my house. I'll show the inside of my house. If I'm walking around making a video and there's street signs, I don't show any of my customers' personal information. They sign a media release form built into, and I let them know, and I also ask for their permission verbally and in the contract. So I don't show license plates, street signs. I never talk about my clients. I don't say their names, nothing personal on the client side. And on the personal side, as long as you're very mindful and careful that you're only talking about these specific things in your videos, and you never talk about that other stuff, then you won't be in bed sweating at night like, oh my God, like I talked about this thing on my video and now I gotta go delete it or something or edit it out. So you pre-decide that in advance. And as long as you do that, you're totally fine. And the good thing that protects you, I wouldn't say it protects you, I can't, but there's so many millions of people uploading content to social media constantly that you collectively getting 100,000 views in a year, which can drive tons of leads into your business and grow your personal brand or your business. Like the risk it's almost nothing now. If you were to do this like 20 years ago, people would probably be like, who the hell is this guy? Who does he think he is, or what's going on? So yeah, but watch a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk. Have you heard of him? Look up Gary Vaynerchuk. This guy owns a company called VaynerMedia, and he basically stands on stage and he screams at people about these type of topics because it's perfectly normal to feel with your question. And so you got to watch Gary Vaynerchuk. He'll answer the questions. Any more? One of my favorite videos or what? That I've made? Yeah. So I have videos that I've made that I go back every few years and I watch them if I'm down or not believing in myself, and I will find myself sobbing, crying, clenching my fists, pacing around, praying to God, saying thank you, putting my face on the floor, praising Christ. These videos that were the times where I took a chance, I took a bet on myself, believed in myself, and it worked. We went to this guy, Logan Paul's house a few years ago, and I was at his house for like 3 or 4 days, and so we were just making a bunch of videos, and we were in California, and I had been meditating a lot, and I manifested this whole thing where I was so excited. I had positive expectancy, an enthusiasm that was so high that I was on fire. Like, I got over the hump of being afraid, the pressure to peacock, and I was all in, just full-blown, making videos every day and being myself. So I started getting invited to events and stuff, and I went to California, and we left the Logan Paul guy's house, and we went to this place called Rodeo Drive, and we had a couple video people with us and social media guys. I'm like, dude, I gotta make a video here. The sun was going down. So when the sun's going down, there's something called the golden hour. It's the best time to shoot videos because the sun is like at a 45, like the last hour before it goes down. Projects a golden sunlight and makes everything look amazing on video. And so it just happened to be that. And I made a motivational video about overcoming all odds and believing in yourself. And so I was just like walking around Rodeo Drive, and I had the camera guy, and I was like, just pure passion. I pulled it out, I went for it. I spent like 42 hours editing that video, and the music comes on, and it's like, when I watch it, I just cry because it's the version of me that I dream of being. Like these motivational videos where I call up my video guy, and I'm like, I know it's gonna be like $4,000, but let's book it. And let's make the baddest motivational video ever. So the other one is story of a fight that changed my life. I talk about this bully back in school who wanted to beat me up. And this coward was like 3 grades higher than me. This guy towered over me and I was terrified. And they're like, after school, he was jealous of me. After school, him and all his friends surrounded me, and I was scared that they were gonna literally like jump me and put me in the hospital. And when I knew that I wasn't getting out of it, and I talked about this in the video, I knew I wasn't getting out of it, so dude, I tightened my belt, I clenched my fist, and I don't even consider myself a fighter, but I literally, that guy walked away limping and holding his face and bleeding, and then my friends were like lifting me up, they were like, Kalfas, and it's like, because I stood up for myself and I basically beat up a bully and I made a video about it, and I talked about overcoming things in your life. If you have a bully in your life, face that thing head down, right on, face it, and that's the only way you're gonna overcome it. That's a great question. So with all the different social media platforms, you can post to all of them all the time, or how do you manage all this and get the most engagement for your videos? So there are experts that say you should pick one platform and go all in and get it up to what I would call maybe your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And there's some people say go all in on Facebook. And the funny thing is, and if you want to look at it from a business perspective, I have a friend named William. He's a tree guy. He rescues cats from trees, and he's been on the news, and he's an amazing arborist, but he also has a heart of gold, and he rescues animals, and we make videos about it, and they go viral. And so this guy is literally, and I don't take any credit for this, he's become famous on Facebook. He has leads coming in nonstop because of his content on Facebook. He also goes metal detecting for fun, and he finds crazy stuff from the 1800s. And he posts this on and now all these customers love him, and he's loaded with work because of Facebook, but invisible on YouTube. Me, I don't have a huge reach on Facebook as far as my business at all. You want to try the different platforms and find out what works for you. Obviously, if you're trying to market your actual landscaping business, your landscaping customers probably aren't on TikTok per se. They're probably on Facebook. And if you do YouTube, you want to make sure you're SEO tagging and titling everything and creating keyword-rich descriptions and then writing blog articles by it. So what I do is, with my social media team, I used to do this by myself and it drove me crazy. I was up to 2 o'clock in the morning. I never slept. So you make one piece of content. It could be a video of 3, 5, 10 minutes. And then we have, it's called the circular virality method. I learned this from a guy named Brendan Burchard, but I also have a content syndication strategy. So I take the one piece of content or I send the footage to my editor in Serbia. He edits it, gives it back. It goes on YouTube. The only thing I really do is stand in front of a camera or talk in front of a microphone. So when the footage, or I meet with my video guy every Monday and he films we did like 8 videos last Monday. Like we just bang them out. But we put the video on YouTube. I do nothing else. My virtual assistant grabs the video and then takes it and chops it up and puts it on Instagram posts, Instagram stories, logs into my TikTok, creates unique proprietary videos for TikTok, and then logs into my Facebook, and then does it for Facebook as well. So my one piece of content gets chopped up and spread across all the platforms and posted. Like we can make like 20 pieces of content out of one podcast or something like that. And then the main YouTube video, my podcast, anybody can do this. This is actually really easy, so I don't want to overwhelm anybody. You just go on Upwork.com and you can hire virtual assistants. There's a process to it, but you can absolutely do this and just crush it. At my podcast producer, I have 2 of them. They take the video, if it's a long, like this is gonna be turned into a podcast, they take it and they fix all the sound levels, they put the ads in, they put the music, and then they publish that to 16 different podcast platforms like Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Deezer, SoundCloud. And then I also pay them extra to write show notes and transcribe everything that I spoke and break it down into bullet points, show notes, action steps. Go to my website, go to my blog, check this out, circle back. So you can just make one piece of content and then hire somebody to share it on all the different platforms. And then once in a while, I'll just go nuts